Hello and welcome to my Adonai. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't go yet. Wait till the end and receive God's blessings for your life in Jesus' name. Weddings are seasons of celebrations with friends and loved ones. It is usually a beautiful day because, starting from the environment, there are lots of flowers and decorations, followed by sweet aroma of food. The guests are also looking good in their outfits. Wedding dresses, but not all, are usually in rich, bold colors and luxurious fabrics. For those who can't afford can go for what they can afford and still come out looking their best. The bride and the groom will look very good and everyone looks and appreciates them. Two brothers were discussing about Joseph's coat of many colors. The first person said, "But I don't think Joseph's coat of many colors was it really that beautiful?" Comad said to James, his elder brother, as he fixed his clothes in his locker. "How do you mean?" "I mean, why the much talk about his coat of many colors? If his father made a coat that had color riots, that makes the cloth even worthless and crazy," Comad said with much pride, looking at his stock of clothes. But James looked at him and said, "Comad, Joseph did not need all the clothes in the world to be happy. The value he placed on his coats is why we still talk about it even till today." In fact, God loved Joseph more because he had self-control, compassion, and a sense of purpose. He earned the trust of high officials. And even most importantly, he was found trustworthy by God. Physical appearance is important to God in that it reveals the glory of His creative abilities. So we should appreciate the beauty God has given us as His most complex and amazing creation. In ways we cannot understand, we reflect His own beauty. God places some value on appearances. If He did not, we would all look the same. It is not wrong for us to notice and appreciate physical appearances as well. But it should be remembered that God judges our hearts, not our physical appearances. This takes us to the topic of today, which is titled Hearts. And we would look at the book of Luke chapter 16 verse 15, which says, "And he said to them, You who justify yourselves before men, but God knows your hearts. For what is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God." That passage of the Bible explains that the Pharisees acted to get praise from people. But God knew what was in their hearts. They considered their wealth to be a sign of God's approval. God detested their wealth because it caused them to abandon their spirituality. Though prosperity may earn people's praise, it must never substitute for devotion and service to God. 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7, which says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, Do not look at his appearances, or at his physical stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward, but God looks at the heart." Saul was tall and handsome. He was an impressive-looking man. Samuel may have been trying to find someone who looked like Saul to be the next king, but God warned him against judging by appearance alone. Appearance doesn't reveal what people are really like or what their value is. Fortunately, God judges by faith and character, not appearance. Jeremiah 17 verse 9 to 10, which says, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, who can know it?" I the Lord search the hearts, I test the mind, even to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruits of his doings. The passage clearly states that God makes it clear why we sin. It's a matter of the hearts. Our hearts have been inclined towards sin from the time we were born. It is easy to fall into the routine of sinning and forgetting and forsaking God. But we can still choose whether or not to continue in sin. We can yield to a specific temptation, as we can ask God to resist temptation when it comes. 1 Peter chapter at verse 3-5 says that your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry or fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight, for this is the way the holy women of the past who put their hope in God used to adorn themselves. They submitted themselves to their own husbands. Our outward appearance should not be our focus, if the reason we try to be the perfect wet. Wear the best clothes, have facial treatments, and so on is to impress other people. Then our physical appearance has become a matter of pride. We should humbly aware of our appearance rather than acting to conform to the world's standards. Matthew 23 verse 12 says, for whoever exalts himself would be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. James chapter 4 verse 6 says that God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. In conclusion, we must watch out for anything that draws us away from God, including the too often extreme emphasis the world places on appearance. God does not want us to love the world or anything in it. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15, which says, do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in them. Romans 12 verse 2 says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. We also look at the book of Colossians chapter 34 verse 5, which says, put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature: sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. God has shown us His amazing power and beauty and love in an incredibly diverse creation. We should be humble, not commit idolatry in worshiping the creation rather than the Creator. I hope someone has been blessed today. I hope to see you in the next video. God bless you.